does the audience in Ojai seem to you? You've had a lot of experiences around the world.
Well, I didn't take a nose count, but I mean the impression I got is that there's a real mix between some pretty elderly people and some very, very young people, and plenty in between. I just came back from Tokyo, where it seemed like everybody was between 25 and 35. That's not typical over there, but it was at this particular time. So again, I don't know if that's a typical Ojai audience, but I'd say what I like about it is that all age groups from from the eldest to the youngest were represented, and that's nice to see, because a lot of older people you associate with not being particularly big fans of contemporary music.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that is also true of Ojai is that you're keeping company during this weekend.
Right.
You have other composers chosen largely by David Robertson and Tom Morris.
Right.
Let me have your impressions about the company you keep this weekend, because at the end you're with Pergolesi.
Right.
Was that a selection that surprised you, or had you had something like that before?
Well, I think there was a program done with the Brooklyn Philharmonic where they did the Stravinsky Mass and the Bach Fourth Cantata and Tehillim, and I thought that was a great program. And this is sort of in that vein. A lot of my musical loves are really from 1750 and earlier, and there's much in my music that you could point out that is Baroque in nature, steady dynamics. You could almost say terrace dynamics. A sort of matter-of-fact delivery that is fairly widespread, has roots in the Baroque period. Pergolesi, I must say, I'm mostly familiar through Stravinsky's incredible theft in Pulcinella. I think that was mostly La Serva Padrona, which is not being done, but this is a beautiful piece that's being done, and Dawn Upshaw is one of the beautiful voices and one of the great musicians of our time. And I'm just honored that David Robertson has been a supporter for over 10 years now. He did the world premiere of City Life with the Ensemble Contemporaneous. He's a protege of Pierre Boulez, who's an old alumnus of Ojai. And whatever your opinions of Pierre Boulez, in my estimation, he is perhaps our greatest living musician in the sense of what he can hear and how he can conduct. And anyone who selects David Robertson of that stature, you're dealing with an absolutely world-class first-rate musician. And I'm delighted to have David be doing Tehillim. He knows the piece like the back of his hand, and he's done it many times. And I am proud to be with Dawn Upshaw, Pergolesi, David Robertson. It's a dream program.
Now, were you consulted in the making of these programs for this weekend? Were you consulted about choices, selections, pieces?
The only conversation that Tom Morris and I had several times was, wouldn't I play for her? I kept trying to weasel out because I had to prepare music for 18 musicians as a performer for a trip to Tokyo, which I mentioned earlier. And you need something like calisthenics. You've got to get yourself in shape. You have to do it, for a couple of weeks, at least at my age, to get yourself up to speed. And I thought, if I have to do that, I have to go back and try to dig out my part and then figure out something that's going to work as an organ again to do this. I'm just not going to be a happy camper. So I said, look, lots of other people, and then I think, fortunately, MTT, absolutely couldn't do it either. I thought, oh, good, this is the whole house.
But you are being snared for Sunday morning.
Oh yeah, well that's different. Drumming is a piece I do play frequently, and Tom very brilliantly re-invited Nexus, of which Bob Becker and Russ Hartenberger and Gary Kavistad, and even Bill Kahn sometimes are part of my own ensemble as well. People I've played with over the years. So percussion is kind of like the next generation. I have been present when they have played pieces of mine because of some occasion where I have to talk and they say, hey, when do we get some percussion to play some pieces? And now finally we're playing together. So it is a very, very nice human situation to have very, very old friends who I've played with for 35 years now, and a whole younger group of people who are kind of really getting off on, playing with these, really people like Russ and Bob are like legends within the percussion community. So this morning we rehearsed together, and it's another one of these Ojai situations. It's a beautiful house, gorgeous view of the mountains, incredible people in the room, everybody very relaxed, it was a great rehearsal.
Great.